I remember there were like rumors of Spider-Man 4 was going to come out, but that got canceled. And
Right.
then the Amazing Spider-Man. I was not aware that they were like recasting, or I thought it was just it looked it different. I remember like the trailer, it looked it different than how I remember from Spider-Man 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just check if it's live. Sorry. Just so the audio and everything. Everything should be fine.
Mhm.
Live. Sorry. Just so the audio and everything. Everything should be fine. Yeah. It's like just saw the echo, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like Spider-Man stuff that I grew up with, and then also like me and my dad would always watch, because my dad also like when like because he's like born, I guess right when Spider-Man came out, right, like when Spider-Man first got created, and so when he was a lot younger, he used to like collect Spider-Man comics and stuff, and he would, and then they had the cartoon, and so because of that, me and him would watch the old '60s Spider-Man cartoon, which going back, I don't know if it was last year for some reason I was like
Not good.
looking up
Can't have people taking pictures
episodes,
of my 3 chest hairs.
but yeah, that the animation in that show is
Tools I need for
incredibly
super repair
goofy
at the
and
lab.
just like super cheap.
Wonder if Dr. Octavius is off for the day.
And obviously everybody knows the '60s cartoon because of the music and the memes now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, me and my dad would just watch it together. Like, that's why, like, the only reason why that I got into Marvel is just because of my dad. Like, my dad was like, anytime there was a Marvel movie, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you to the Hulk." That was a big mistake because I was like terrified of the Hulk. I was like 3 or something, so it just didn't work. I was like screaming in the theater. He had to like take me out, and he's like, "We're never gonna see a Hulk movie again." I was like, "This shit is scary. Shit scared the fuck out of me." Oh, what's up, George? Man, you doing all right, George?
Hey, George.
Hey, George.
If you want to come in, George, we got the Discord. I can send you the link. That's if you're free.
I was introduced to Marvel because of Iron Man, because I was into like the robots and technology and stuff, and
Yeah,
robotics.
yeah, you seem to be into that, like Transformers and stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember too, like, yeah, I didn't know really much about Iron Man. Like, the only thing I remember about Iron Man before the movie was, I think there was a famous Marvel uh, animation.
Oh wait,
It's like a
it was a
You know what I'm
it was
talking
a
about?
short.
It was a short
It was
film.
a
Yeah.
short. It had Spider-Man and Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like
I
3D
know.
animation.
Yeah,
It
I
says,
know what
sure,
you're
I'll
talking
join in a few
about.
minutes. Okay, George,
I
hold on. Let me
I
make sure
seen
you're.
that, and I also posted I posted something about if you remember this, you will. If you remember this early, you will understand. You are a real Marvel fan. And I got like so many
Yeah.
likes on that. It was
Oh, I
it
got
was
a lot of
basically
deep Marvel cuts, man. I got one for you
um
that I don't think you would know. I don't know if
what
Aaron knows this, but you could go. You can
What?
continue. I'm gonna tell you. Nobody knows
so it was like a
remembers this,
short
but it's
it
okay.
was a Marvel short film, and it also was the guy that made Deadpool in the first Deadpool.
Oh,
He made
oh, he
that
did that
short.
animation, the Blur
Yeah,
Studios.
he
It was
yeah, Blair Studios. He was the one, and also the model for Spider-Man was based on the Ultimate Alliance, the first one, the
right.
first game.
Yeah, that animation. I remember seeing that animation and stuff, and I thought it was cool. Like, I mean, some of the characters like I didn't really read or know that much. Like Iron Man before the movie, I didn't really like have any sort of like attachment to him.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
I would still say so too because I'm not like the biggest Iron Man fan. I like the movies, and obviously I like some of the early like Marvel comics, like 2000s. I mean, like Michael Bendis stuff, where it was like they're building up to
Mm-hmm.
like Civil War, and so there's a lot of interesting stuff with Iron Man there. And then also there's like the Matt Fraction Iron Man too. So it's like I come to appreciate Iron Man, but like I won't say I hate the character. It's just
Yeah.
like it's not like my go-to unless you know there was like a really good Iron Man run, then I would read it. I like the Iron Man run that's
Yeah.
going on right now. I don't really care. I tried multiple Iron Man runs like recently. They just are not that interesting. But yeah, in terms of like, okay, so the deep cut that I was gonna tell you about, right, is that
Yeah.
you know, because we, you know, I live in Canada, right, and we would go to Niagara Falls often, and one of the things that was weird about Niagara Falls, what's up, George?
Mhm.
Was
What's up?
that there was a Marvel attraction theme park, and this was like way before the MCU. This was before, like this was like in the early 2000s, right, or like mid 2000s, and it was called Marvel Adventure City, right? And if you were a Marvel fan, this was like it was kind of fun, but it was like super cheap because it was like, you know, it was like X-Men bumper carts or like things like that, right? But they had the Spider-Man ride that scared the fuck out of me as a kid. Like they had animatronics and everything. Like they had the lizard and
Oh.
it was sick, man. It was honestly like, I mean, looking back on it, and I found some like videos.
Yeah.
And when you would go in, they would have like the Tobey Maguire suit from the movies, like in this glass case, and they would sell like a bunch of Marvel merchandise. It was mostly X-Men and Hulk and Spider-Man. There was like some Daredevil stuff, but it was like, well, you know, basically the movies at the time, Fantastic Four 2, right? And yeah, and so it was kind of cool. Like they wanted to renovate it, but then the license for Marvel, it got like too expensive. So technically,
Yeah.
it's still there. It's still there. It's just not called Marvel Adventure City. It's just called Adventure City. But that's like the
Yeah.
deepest cut, and I don't think a lot of people even know that. Like this is like way before. I guess Marvel, they were licensed out their license because you know, we know that they were going broke, right? So I
Yeah,
think it,
because they were selling out their rights.
yeah.
Selling out the rights.
But then once like the
Yeah.
movies started like popping off and like, and I think it was probably around Iron Man. Like when Iron Man took off, that's when they kind of lost the license. So yeah, that or like time period of Marvel is like really interesting.
Yeah.
If you're like a kid growing up and seeing that, because then that I'm because like people are saying, oh, like Gen Z's not into superhero movies, and you're like, what the hell? Like I don't know what that comment is. It's like, bro, like what are you talking about? Most of us grew up with freaking Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Like when I
Yep.
right when
Yep.
out of high school, that's when Infinity War ended. Like I remember every, like when the movies came out that specific year, like I remember going to see them, what theater I saw it in, what was going on, like. So it's just kind of like
Yeah.
crazy that it's like, yeah, by the time like this is all, I mean, who knows if this is whenever this ends, it will be like some crazy run. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be like, damn. That's why I can never. I mean, we criticize Marvel, but I mean, I can't
Yeah.
I can't be like Marvel is complete ass, especially when I still like some of the stuff they put out, and I also just want them to get better. That's really it. Like, I don't want it to
Yeah, I
go
want
away
to-
completely. That
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
going away after this movie. They
Right.
probably are
No,
going to
for sure
keep
not.
Still
going.
doing more Spider-Man stuff. There's the one that's still doing more stuff.
Yeah, they still got a
Secret
lot of
Wars.
stuff they could do. So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're gonna do
let's talk
more.
about the movie.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you want to start, George? What's your thoughts on the movie? You're the guest.
Oh yeah, I saw it early this afternoon, and I liked it a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I think this was definitely better than No Way Home in my opinion. I definitely think this was the best post Endgame Marvel movie, at least for me. I know some people will say, well, Guardians Volume 3 might be their best or their favorite, or some people might say Deadpool and Wolverine, but I feel like just on how the movie looked, how
Yeah.
balance so much stuff out, because it wasn't just a Spider-Man story. You had Punisher in there. You had Hulk, and
Yeah.
is it okay? Am I allowed to say who Sadie Sink is?
Yeah, you could say spoilers. I mean, I didn't put spoilers in the tag, but I'll just change it.
Jean Grey and
Yeah.
Yelena making a couple of appearances in this movie, just balancing all this stuff out, but they did it the right way. And I feel like this is how you tell a solo story while still incorporating Marvel characters and also setting up in a small way future plot lines.
Right.
Because the thing that I noticed, and it's not just Marvel, I noticed this with the old DCU or DCEU and even the Amazing Spider-Man movies. When they try setting up stuff, it takes away from the story.
Right.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a huge problem of setting up future movies like Sinister Six and other stuff that, you know, it may have sounded... Yeah, but they focused more on telling a coherent Spider-Man story. Batman vs. Superman suffered from setting up Justice League instead of telling a proper Batman vs. Superman clash story.
Right.
And even Marvel movies suffer from this. Iron Man 2 suffered from this, setting up the Avengers, taken away from an Iron Man story. Age of Ultron, as well, setting up Civil War, Ragnarok, and Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like here, well, yeah, there's obviously that eventual setup for the mutants. They still kept it as a Spider-Man story. This is still the story of Peter Parker. And the thing is, what this movie also did that I think people were worried about, it didn't undo the damage of No Way Home.
Yeah.
Right away. Because they could have easily said in the first 5 minutes, oh, people remember, or even if they don't remember, he's still friends with Ned and MJ, but it's new memories that they have together. No, he is basically alone when this movie starts, and it takes a while for him to even get to that point of even associating with them.
Right. Yeah, that's the one aspect that I was impressed with the movie, that the way that they handled, because I still kind of understand, like, yeah, I mean, you probably should maybe have like a new cast of people, like, to introduce new friends and stuff. Especially because, you know, people want Harry or Gwen. I don't even know if we'll even get Gwen, but I mean, at least Harry, right?
I mean, because the whole rights thing really kind of screws it up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could have done a soft reboot with him, but also, like, how much do Sony like has so they can like which character they like Marvel can use.
Right.
Well, they can use any Spider-Man related character. They don't need Marvel's permission.
Yeah, they don't. I think they have to create a distinct version of the character, though. There's like some legal reason.
Yeah.
I'm not like too like I don't even think that's ever been publicly disclosed, but I know people were talking about something like that. Like that's the reason why MJ's not like Mary Jane, 'cause you know what I mean? But anyway, regardless, one of the things I was going to say to George's point was, I mean, the movie ends with things not being like completely resolved, which is kind of a good thing, because it's like, I'm sure they're going to remember, but it's not going to be the same, right? And so I actually kind of like that. At least there's like, because the thing is, like, going back, because I was thinking about this, I was like, I mean, technically, you know, like, they could have just had it be like, okay, they just immediately remember and we just move on, right? Because the spell was really just to erase himself from the public's mind, right? And this was just like a consequence. But I'm glad that they kind of stuck with the consequences, because first off, it made at least his character arc and what was going on more interesting, especially compared to the other movies.
True.
Yeah, like, because he's now like, and it was also kind of like, you know, you're seeing like friends that you haven't seen and they've like completely changed. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, where it's like you see people and you're like, oh yeah, we were friends, but like I don't have the same like connection with you anymore, right? And it's like really
Yeah.
devastating.
Yeah, of course.
True.
It is devastating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it felt like the movie
bad.
like the movie like surprisingly understood something that was like I'm sure everybody's experienced and it never really quite understand why, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And so that's why
The-
the movie, like I said, the movie was actually relatable. Like the core emotion of the movie for a Marvel movie was significantly better than normal. Like the last movie that did this was probably like Thunderbolts,
Mm-hmm.
which is good. I think they need to just like they got to remember like the core emotion is what makes the movie the movie. You know what I mean? Like, yes, people are coming for Spider-Man, but I mean, like, people have such a deep connection with the characters because of an emotional arc that they have. So, and I feel like Marvel, like, completely misses that most of the time. But, yeah. So, what do you think, Aaron? I want to hear your thoughts.
A movie?
Yeah.
Okay. A movie? What did I think of the movie? Okay. It definitely was probably maybe arguably the best in Endgame, possibly.
Hmm.
Overall, I thought is Tom Holland's best performance as Peter / Spider-Man.
Right.
I agree.
So
True.
he showed he could act like more range
Mhm.
as Peter.
Yeah.
Not the I thought the action was fine. I mean, yeah, they take inspiration of Insomniac. The what he's like, all feeling alone in this world, and how he's dealing with that, and how it's like real life at times. Like people feel like that in real life.
Right.
That's him. Also, like how it matches up with Jean Grey, where she kind of feels alone without her sister. Spoilers.
Yeah, we could talk spoilers. It's all right.
It's
Yeah.
it's really about Peter. I would say trying to wanting to move on, but doesn't know how. But most of the film, but throughout the film, he tries. Obviously, you
Right.
can see like,
True.
and you can see how that's the reason why for his mutations. I guess you could say,
Yeah.
mutation.
Which I'm glad they didn't, because that was a rumor. Like they were gonna turn him into a mutant.
Man.
So,
No.
Manspire.
No,
Yeah.
like a mutant, like an X-Men.
Oh.
Yeah, which they didn't
Uh,
do, luckily.
Oh, could you imagine like a post-credit scene where a guy in a wheelchair comes? He's like, "I'm here to talk to you about the X-Men."
Oh yeah. I mean,
Could you imagine if they
Spider-Man
did
has
something
been a
like that?
teacher there in the comics, but I mean, God, no, please no. I'm glad the movie didn't do any of that, despite there being other characters. But it felt like this is why I'm like I can't really understand some of the criticism of the movie with like the characters that we see in them, like Punisher and the Hulk, because it's like they actually make sense within the story. Like
True.
it felt like you were reading a Spider-Man comic, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with a mutation or something. Let me go talk to Bruce Banner. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Like, instead of it just being like, oh, he's here, and you're like, why is he here? You're just, oh, it's just cause.
Because Jean Grey is kind of stalking Spider-Man, so she probably stalked Spider-Man when he went to visit the Hulk.
Right.
That's what I would take. That's what I take from that, and that's why she went to the mind. Well, we gotta remember he was fighting two Hawks. You really think about when Hawk was invaded by Jean Grey,
Yeah.
and when Bruce turned into the Hawk the second
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because she was controlling him as the Professor Hulk, and then he actually
Yeah.
went into regular Hulk, which I guess we don't even know when was the last time technically the regular Hulk or Savage Hulk, whatever you want to call him, was even
Last time
around. Like we don't even know.
Last time he was in any Hawk film, Professor Hawk, like any Hawk film was Professor Hawk and She-Hulk.
Yeah, and I mean like because we never get anything with Hulk, so it's like they never address any of that. But
Yeah.
Well,
that's another
I
thing.
mean, if you think about it, like because if you look at the Hulk's arc in the MCU, like it feels like the last time the public has seen him Hulk out, like at least to our knowledge, was Age of Ultron. Because after Age of Ultron, he was in Sakaar for a couple of years, and we saw him as the Hulk there, the audience, and we saw him as the Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War.
Right.
But the public hasn't really seen a full Hulk out. The last time was the events of Age of Ultron, which was
Which
in
was
the MCU
10 years.
2015.
Yeah, that was like
When,
Like
more
that
than
was
10
that was
years
like
in the MCU.
so that's kind of like that's pre-Spider-Man right there in general. So
Yeah.
I mean, he could have had a Hulk out like in that 5 years during the snap before he became Professor Hulk, or maybe
Right.
he had another Hulk out that we don't know of. But as far as we know, we believe like this is the first time that the public has seen in over a decade.
Right, and his interaction, I like that. I mean, just for fan service, I know people are gonna be like fan service, but I mean, if you're going to,
but he played a important role. Bruce Banner
Yeah.
played an important role. I mean, he's like, it's not.
but I mean,
fan
like
service.
the fight itself,
True.
like let's have the Hulk go up against Spider-Man, but it's like it's like visually, because I know they were saying they were gonna do the Lizard, and you're like we saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we saw the Lizard before. I'm not
No, but
opposed
the-
to seeing him again. But, like, the Hulk and
But
Spider-Man,
Lizard, we're not-
you don't usually get.
Lizard would not fit the story they were telling. This movie.
No,
because
yeah.
Lizard, that's because we know Peter went to Bruce Banner's class because of the
Yeah.
Because he
inhibitor, whatever it's
knows.
called.
Yeah, and he also
Now-
knows him personally. Well, even
Now
though
Yeah.
Bruce
thing is, how
doesn't
did,
remember.
how would
Lizard doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
even if Lizard did show up, how would he even fit? Because you're gonna have to
You have to explain a
explain-
lot.
like they're gonna have to explain like what like the lizard serum, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and all.
I feel-
It's
I feel like
easier
if
with the
Lizard.
Hulk.
I
Yeah,
feel like
these-
if the Lizard wasn't in No Way Home, like if the Lizard wasn't in No Way Home, I think they probably could have done a Lizard story arc.
Right.
I feel like the thing is, even though I like No Way Home, I feel like No Way Home put them in a corner where now it's like we're not gonna see MCU versions of these
Yeah.
characters, of these villains.
True. Yeah.
Which,
That's what it seems
I
like.
mean, I get it. Like, it's hard to top Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina. Like, I get all that. But I think as fans, we would have liked to have seen MCU variants of these characters, and like
Yeah.
how the relationships with Peter are different. Like, here's the thing. For example, Norman Osborn. Like, we know in the Raimi trilogy, Norman Osborn, he's not a bad guy. Like, yeah, he's a greedy guy, but he's not a bad guy. He does care for his son. He does care about Peter, and it's the Green Goblin side. But what about a version in the MCU that's like brutal and nasty, like he is in the comic books or
Right.
other animated versions? Like, I think people would like to see like a really downright evil Norman Osborn.
I wouldn't mind
Yeah, I
an
would
ultimate
like to see
Green
that.
Goblin.
I think
I
they
wouldn't mind
could
them
still
for-
do that. It's just more
The thing is,
the timing of it, I guess.
But
Well, throughout the movie,
I-
like, you see what he's been doing as Spider-Man. We see how he's got the apartment. We see how he's been living. But with like, what else has he been doing? How's he got the money for all that apartment?
Yeah, they
Well,
never
I
explain
assume
any of that.
I assume it's free. I assume it's free because that wasn't really an apartment room.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
would have liked to have seen, because this
Mhm.
but the thing that I like about this movie, it felt like a love letter to the comics, because in the comics, like you would see Spider-Man in the comics like interacting with authority figures in his costume, like how he was in the damage control office
Right.
in full-on costume. I
Yeah,
remember
his
it was like
refusal
the
to take off the mask was also
Yeah.
pretty funny.
But also, like,
Yeah.
one thing I would have liked to have seen, I can't remember what Spider-Man comic it was. It was like an old one where he's in the costume, and I guess he got a check, like it's like a Spider-Man themed check, but they won't let him deposit it in the bank because he won't
Yeah.
reveal his identity. Like, I
Right.
would have liked to have seen something like that, where it's like, you know, because the city's like in a Spider-Man mania right now. Like, the city basically worships the ground Spider-Man stands on. At the
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Mhm.
if people see a guy like a guy in a spider suit trying to deposit a Spider-Man themed check, they'll be like, well, how am I supposed to know you're the real Spider-Man?
Yeah, stuff like that would have.
Like, I would have liked to have seen that, because you know that montage felt like a love letter, like that beginning montage to Spider-Man comics.
Right. It also
like,
felt Sam Raimi too. You know, like when some of his movies used to do the montage, and then you got like the paper clips and stuff.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man 4 was supposed to have that villain montage where he fights like
Mysterio,
C-list villains.
Yeah.
I feel, and I think Ramrod was gonna be one of the villains for the fourth one, or it might have been Stiltman. It was one of those two. But I still felt like it was a really kind of neat like nod to the Spider-Man 4 we never got.
Yeah. I think the montage from the Spider-Man 4 was going to have Stiltman, Shocker, Mysterio.
I think Rhino was going to be one.
Rhino too.
Rhino.
Yeah, I never saw any the characters that were going to be in that montage besides Mysterio. They had like a storyboard of it.
Because Bruce Campbell was supposed to play the role.
Yeah, which always pisses me off because I like Bruce Campbell, and I like Mysterio, so it's like that's my favorite.
You missed out on something golden.
Yeah, I know, and it was set up too because he's like in all the movies, so it's like that would have been clever.
It's always
It would have been entertaining for sure.
Yeah. There's also there was something else that I wanted to talk about the Punisher, because like one of the things about this movie that was, I see some people complaining already. They're like the Punisher, he's a comedic character in the movie. I didn't think it was more like situational humor and the fact of like his personality, not that he himself was comedic. Like he felt like pretty in line with his character. But the one thing I think this made the movie was the ending, where he was wearing the mask. That is going to be, I don't care what anybody says, that will be one of the best MCU moments. For the sole reason because it is both hilarious and like super tragic. Because you're like, this dude goes around murdering people, which by the way, he should have never been allowed in a hospital, like, ever. That's
true.
Right? The guy literally shot up a hospital, but I
mean, that's true. I mean,
yeah, those are like the entire time I was like, me and my friend Monkey, Monkey, so, or at least some of you guys,
that's true.
I was like leaning toward him and I was like, man, like we were just like making jokes about little things, like how like clearly the Punisher loves Spider-Man way more than Daredevil. And it's like the way he treats Peter, it's just hilarious, because it's like he literally shits on Matt, and he's blind. Like he like pushes him around, he tries to fight him and shit. It's like no fucking care in the world, which is hilarious. But yeah, I just like that moment at the ending. Like that's why it's like sometimes the MCU, I'm not there for.
I think it's because Peter doesn't give much shit to Punisher, like Punisher.
Yeah.
Like Daredevil does, and also
I also
younger.
Yeah, I feel like even though he doesn't know until the end of the movie who's behind the mask, like he can tell Spider-Man's young. Like he still sounds like he can be a teenager. Like I know the voice has gotten a little deeper, but he still sounds like he can be a teenager.
He's got a completely different voice. He's got a New York accent. Yeah, you notice that? Yeah, I like that.
He still sounds young, so I think Punisher probably suspects that he's at the very least a teenager, the person behind the mask.
Right.
I wonder if the nurse is a doctor.
Yeah, I liked his supporting role, and then obviously he shoots him at the ending accidentally, even though it's like very like John Bernthal's Punisher. Like I agree with people. It's not like the Punisher. You know what I mean? Like he's all like kind of like raging and Neanderthalish. Like where he's like shooting and screaming. I was kind of laughing at that.
Yeah.
It's like completely unnecessary, but
when the shooting, because I'm glad you brought up the shooting scene. Did anyone else feel like this reminded them of Deadpool 2 when Deadpool takes a bullet for that kid?
Yes.
Like, did anyone else kind of get somewhat of a similar vibe? there where he takes the bullet for Jean Grey. It's like there's something about guys in red that are taking bullets for young mutants.
I mean that.
Yeah.
Similar, like that kid in Deadpool 2 was kind of being abused.
Yeah,
and all that
it was
shit.
it was kind of like the
Misunderstood.
typical mutant storyline.
Misunderstood kid. Like Jean
Yeah.
Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like I feel like that was like that reminded me of that, and I would laugh if I think Deadpool's gonna be in Secret Wars, definitely Tom Holland. I
Yeah.
would laugh if like a joke
think
is
he's
made about that, saying,
I
"Say
think
you
he's a
took a bullet
doomsday.
for a mutant too. I took a bullet for a mutant too as well.
Oh, yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
died from it."
I
think-
feel
I
like
think
they're
Deadpool
going to
will
have
do-
to interact. I don't know if Tom Holland is like has a role in Doomsday, but I
Definitely got
I
one in
keep
Secret
saying, listen, they're going to have to at some point make Deadpool and Spider-Man. Like it just seems like if you did Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't see how a Deadpool 4 isn't Deadpool and Spider-Man. That's just my opinion. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's like Deadpool is kind of even in his inception was like associated with Spider-Man because it's like Rob Liefeld
Yeah.
was like thinking about Spider-Man while he was like designing him, which was kind of weird. But
Yeah.
and then obviously, you know, throughout time they've interacted. In the Ultimate Universe, Deadpool was Spider-Man's villain. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Even in the Disney XD, he interacted with Spider-Man.
yeah, and I do wonder if the reason why they put the Punisher, because I always think you just got to think about the way that these studios act with these movies, where it's like they're always like testing the water for things, and I think putting the Punisher in this movie, and now that the movie's made a ton of money, I would not be surprised if they start just like, we'll just put a rated R character, and just like tone them down, as long as they're in character but not super violent. But I think I think Sony like Spider-Man in a rated R movie, I feel like it's okay. Like Deadpool and Wolverine made a lot of money. That movie also wasn't like the most hard R. Like I feel like you could kind of get away with something like that. I don't think people would be like, "Oh my God, Spider-Man is in a rated R movie with Deadpool," and it's like most people kind of go, "Okay, we get it." So yeah, that's like the one thing. Like the one takeaway coming out of this movie, it's like, I think that's like the next thing you kind of have to do. I assume. I mean, Spider-Man 5. I don't know when that would come out, but yeah. So now. Oh yeah,
I
what
would
were you
make a
gonna say?
prediction that the earliest would be 2029. The earliest. That's just being generous because see, there's nothing happening between Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think 2028's already filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably 29.
The earliest. That'd be the earliest, I think.
I mean, I think the reason why this movie is doing so well too is because there hasn't been Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
been-
we had the Miles Morales movie, but
Across the Spider-Verse.
yeah, there like this movie. Like, I really wonder, like, if Marvel was like, this is going to be Avengers Endgame. Like, did they think that was going to happen? I don't think so. I don't think anybody was like saying, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man's going to be Avengers Endgame," like the highest grossing movie of all time. So now you're like, I feel like, I mean, first off, Sony's now going to be like, well, we're going to keep the character. Anybody who says that they're getting rid of the character now, obviously that's a straight up lie. As if it wasn't a lie before, right? But that's not happening. And second, I mean, it just means that Spider-Man's going to have to be integrated more into the MCU. Like, with it, like, they can't, because it's like, this movie was also an MCU movie. Like, all the characters, the whole entire storyline, it's like, you couldn't have, I mean, you could have made a different movie with Spider-Man characters, but you chose to make an MCU movie that, you know, it's obviously focused on Spider-Man. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens after all of this, because it is interesting. I am like, okay, this is, I mean, for years now, people have been saying like superhero fatigue. So you're like,
Yeah.
what comes out of this? That's my question. Like, So
See, I feel like because I heard what you're talking about, how like Gen Z's not into superhero movies anymore, or like
Yeah.
what people believe.
right.
And my thing is, I feel like it's a matter of what kind of superhero movie are you getting, because you know, in the 2010s they were doing so well because there were a lot of great comic book movies coming out in the 2010s, or at least good word of mouth comic book movies.
Right.
So it was the genre was doing so well where even bad ones like the 2016 Suicide Squad was still making a lot of money. I think along the line though, when COVID hit, there wasn't that desperation to go see the next movie until Spider-Man No Way Home came out.
Right.
And then comic book movies were starting to do well again with No Way Home, The Batman, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But I think 2023, end of 2022, something changed where the quality wasn't improving. Because
Yeah.
end of 2022, you had Black Adam. 2023, you had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. The last of the DCEU movies that nothing was remarkable from there.
Yeah.
The highest grossing comic book movie of 2023 was the one that was considered a great movie, which was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Volume 3.
And if you look at 2024...
Well, there was also Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but
Oh, yeah,
you know,
Spider-Man Into the
Guardians,
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Oh, yeah,
grossed more.
Across the Spider-Verse did well as
Yeah.
well. But, like, that was the only other one that got a good word of mouth. And then 2024, Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously two popular characters, but there was a good word of mouth to it, so it
Right.
made a lot of money. And 2025, it didn't get off to a good start with Brave New World. That was not a good start. Thunderbolts, even though Thunderbolts was good, I think the thing is that Thunderbolts, between it being like another MCU movie and people losing some trust with Marvel, they weren't exactly popular characters that
Yeah.
people were going to go out to see.
Well, I don't even think it was just that they were like not popular. I think it was also because they were Disney Plus characters, like you know, U.S. Agent, and I mean they also put Ghost on there for some reason. Like again, she was in an Ant-Man movie that didn't do well. I think it was just like poorly constructed, even though it had like it was like a good movie. Like obviously, Yelena is a cool character. She's also like like people are complaining why is she in this movie, and you're like because she's a good character. Like we don't have like people complain about all the female MCU characters, right? And you're like no one complains about Yelena because she's actually funny. Also, she's the most developed. Like the only other character I would say that had, well, I mean Miss Marvel. I don't like Miss Marvel as much. Kate Bishop. I don't know if we'll ever see Kate Bishop again. Maybe, but. I mean, Yelena was a much better character. Like, it did not.
The thing about Yelena is, of the characters introduced after Endgame, she's been the best developed post Endgame new character.
Yeah.
And also, she has the most appearance in the saga.
Yes, that is true as well.
Yeah.
But also, people forget
Everywhere.
like the new Avengers are stationed in New York City. You don't think that? See, this is where you know some people don't read Spider-Man comics, because if you read Spider-Man comics, especially like the classic era, he's always interacting with heroes in New York City. You know how
Right.
many interactions he had with the Fantastic Four in the early Stan Lee and Steve Ditko era? Like how many times he was talking with Johnny Storm in some of these comics, like the early comics, like comics that introduced Doc Ock and Chameleon. Like people don't realize that Spider-Man has deep connections with New York City-based superheroes.
But that's what
in
it
the
should be.
comics.
And
And that's why it makes sense
if
that
the
he's
story-
interacting with Punisher.
I have no problem with like characters like showing up in movies. They just have to be well integrated into the story. And also,
true.
you know, again, I like this movie. I'm going to use this movie because people on the timeline keep talking about it. You guys are the ones who bring it up, and now we're making comparisons. But it's
If I
like
had to compare it
Superman.
to this,
Like
yeah, I was
Superman,
gonna say Superman.
how it uses its characters. Yes, the characters are interesting characters. I won't say like you know, maybe not interestingly emotional, like, but in terms of like their powers and how they appear in the movie, but they have really nothing to do with Superman's arc in that movie. Like, they're kind of distant. Like, they show up and they don't really help him, like, emotionally at all. They call him, I was even complaining about that when the movie came out. It's like they like, Lois calls them his friends, but yet nobody checks on him after what happened. Meanwhile, if you're comparing this movie, Punisher's a character who shows up and also is like giving him advice and is like like he's part of his story. Same thing with Jean Grey. Even though Jean Grey has nothing really to do with Spider-Man, she's also has a similar arc as the antagonist as Peter. And so you're like, even though these characters have really nothing to do with Spider-Man, it's the way that they're integrated into the story, where it's like, this was better. I mean, and you could say, we could pick any character. It doesn't matter. You could pick any character, but they have to be thematically fit. Like, it can't just be like, oh yeah, well, here's, Captain America, and he just appears, and he fights a battle, and then he leaves. And then you're like, okay, what was the point of that? So yeah, that was just my tangent, because it's like all over Twitter. Like, all over Twitter, people, it's like they have to do this. I don't know why they do this. I don't see Marvel fans doing this, or MCU stands. I guess MCU stands.
I've realized something. I realized something about film Twitter. Film Twitter has this weird obsession with nitpicking the MCU, and it's like, we've had our criticisms. Like, the last 4 years, we've been doing these streams together, whether like on Aaron's channel or my channel or even your channel.
Yeah.
But we've never nitpicked the MCU. We never nitpicked it. Like,
or have like these petty reasons, or like that's, it's just weird. Like, the stuff that people come up with on Twitter is always baffling to me.
But, well, here's the crazy thing. So, like, last week, because we were obviously streaming about the big news last week, David Johnson, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
The amount of people that were, like, complaining that actors they liked were now going into the comic book movie genre. Going into the MCU. It's like, God forbid an actor wants to do a role that and pitch a role.
Right.
It's like they can't have that creativeness. Like,
no, but they also act.
They do what they want to do.
They act like this stuff, like people have like some sort of attachment to this stuff. This shit has been around for like nearly 60 years. Like, it is a generational thing. There's a lot of good stories, and people can't, like, the thing is, like, because people don't really value comics that much, and also because Marvel and DC have done a lot of dumb shit over the years, that people just seem like, oh, it's just like filler. But there's a lot of good comics that are Marvel and DC comics that are like literarily, sorry, I can't even say the word, but like, let me reword it. Like, actually have. No, that's not what I was trying to say. But I was trying to make a point, like, they are a form of, like, you know, you're getting to understand a character. There's emotional arcs. There's stuff to learn in it. And I know that most of the superhero genre is just, you know, the toys bashing and stuff like that. But a lot of the times the reason why people connect with it is because, you know, some of it is a power fantasy. You know, Spider-Man as a character is very relatable to people, and they see themselves in the character. And there's a lot of different stories that touch on a lot of different topics. So it's always baffling to see that people just ignore that and go like, oh yeah, it's a dumb blockbuster. Yeah, it's a blockbuster. I think you should obviously watch other movies, but you know, don't just like watch Marvel movies. But like, it broaden your taste, obviously. But I don't know, man. People get really pretentious, and then when you start asking them questions about like film history or filmmaking, they have no clue. So it's like, you guys are just like LARPers, man. Like, you sit around and complain, and then you don't even care about the history of film or study it, or, you know, watch movies. Like, this one person, sorry, I'm going on a tangent, but this one person on Twitter was literally saying how all these people, I'm sorry, but if your top 4 movies of the year are The Odyssey and, you know, all the popular movies, stop watching movies, right? And then it's like people started nitpicking their letterbox and seeing like, oh, your favorite movie is of all time is Marty Supreme, a movie that just came out. Like, how's that even possible, right? So all these people are just like, you know what I mean? And they're young people too. They're like, you click on their profiles and they're like 18, 19. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, young people. I feel like there should be like an age limit to when you should let your opinion be known on the internet.
No.
Because young people, regardless of what it is, I just feel like their opinions, they're so ride or die with their opinions on anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, to shame someone whose favorite movie can be from any decade. It's like, God forbid if, let's say, I say one of my all-time favorite movies is Rear Window from Alfred Hitchcock, which it is, because
Right.
I love Alfred Hitchcock, I love James Stewart, and that was one of the early movies that I saw, like, before I was a teenager that really got me into a movie-going experience, because I
Right.
watched it at a movie club. God forbid I say it's one of my favorite movies, and I get called a movie boomer for liking a movie that was before 1970.
Yeah.
It's like-
I mean, they're all
like-
over the
like-
place with in terms of like what they're going after you for, right? It's weird. People aren't. It's
It's
funny
like, how-
and weird.
How do these people? How these people? Are these people even happy watching any kind of movie? I just have to
Probably
ask that.
don't.
Like God forbid someone says, "Oh, I love Kevin Smith movies. I love Clerks and Mallrats." They'll be like, "Oh, you're gross. You like those kind of movies?" It's like they're entertaining
Yeah.
movies, and that was like groundbreaking for indie movies in the 90s. People don't realize that.
Yeah, and everybody has their taste, right? I mean, like, I don't mind a little poking and you know, like, fun, right? Like what I was doing with Superman. I like Superman, but you know, sometimes I like having fun. But I do think some people kind of take it to this
Yeah.
like seriousness, where you're like, you legitimately think
Snyder
this here is
fans.
stupid, and you're like, it's a movie, relax.
Snyder fans.
Yeah, some people I think they just have this like level of pretentiousness that it's like I felt. I mean, I can understand. I was like that probably when I was like 18 or like when I was like in high school and watching movies and like this is cinema and like I get it. But I mean, after a while, you go like it's just movies, man, and people watch this for entertainment. It's also emotional, you know, experience too, and people can have that with a Marvel movie. I feel like that shouldn't be a hot take. There's a lot of good Marvel movies that have strong emotions and are relatable and you know, grounded in that sense. So, you know, and then some of them are just entertainment. It's just there to have fun, to see the characters that you like. So yeah, I just. But going back to the movie, there is one critique that I have, like this.
Can I tell you my thoughts on the movie?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, bruh.
Yeah, it's okay. Overall, I had a good time with this movie. I didn't even think I was gonna connect it more, even watching it. If I'm being honest, because as someone who dealt with recently with emotional trauma, it connected to me more because of what Peter's going through, because of certain things of recently, because it did hit hard after like knowing what he's going through and like how he has to deal through it, how to like figure out to move on and stuff. It is hard for me to like to try and let things go, because there are things in my life that I'm still can't forget. I'm still trying to figure out to let go,
Right.
which is still like a little bit of a phase. Even I'm even Pierce 22 in this movie. I'm 22. I'm about to be 23 in a couple of days. It still hits. Like, I'm still like going through that. I'm still like figuring out how to like move on and try and like, you know, get my stuff together and all.
Right.
I do like the Punisher and the duo. I did like that. I did like, you know, some of the stuff like Peter like how he like evolves his stuff. I do think Jean Grey was interesting. Even though I wish it was Mr. Negative, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that I was saying I kind of
Because
slightly agree with.
Because it did feel like it was going to be Mr. Negative, but something must have happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure like if it like what the plan was, but because I was gonna say that this was kind of the criticism of the movie, at least, was I kind of felt like the way they introduced Jean Grey was a little out of character and also kind of made her a little too unsympathetic because they also do the same thing that they did to Wanda, which was, you know, she does a bunch of terrible things and then there's no real consequences, and Peter just kind of lets her go, and it just kind of like at a certain point in the movie, because I also felt like the pacing like toward the ending was getting a little like, okay, let's wrap up the movie, because this is not, now you're kind of deviating away from Spider-Man and you're like, this is now about Jean Grey, and obviously Jean Grey is a, you know, is a pretty big character, and even though like I like the scene that she had with Aunt May in his head, right, but I do think it was kind of like, yeah, it started to, even though I like the mixing of the MCU aspect, it started to lean more in favor of that when they started diving into her, like with the sister and then damage control and all this stuff, and in the room. That also felt like kind of like Stranger Things-esque, which obviously I'm sure was completely intentional, but I mean, I just... I that part I was kind of like, I don't know. I think if they had it be that she was being manipulated or something, because yeah, it kind of just puts you in this light of like, so are all the mutants going to be like this, where it's like they all have this resentment and then they kind of get toned down by like Professor Xavier, because not all of them have that resentment or that type of thinking. But especially, I feel like Jean Grey doesn't, like, I don't know. I just think, you know, it's not that big a deal. But I just kind of
They might
question.
retcon it. They might, like, do something like a soft reboot for Secret Wars.
Maybe.
If,
I mean,
yeah.
that'd be kind of a
mean,
cop
like,
out, but...
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, she's definitely Jean Grey in MCU going forward.
Yeah.
Like, that's
yeah, I don't have a problem with the casting. It's just like the way the
And
character
also-
was written and how she was portrayed as the antagonist.
I will say, I feel like I had more sympathy for Jean Grey than I ever did for Wanda. I don't know what it was. I just never felt bad. I never felt bad for Wanda, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
There's going to be a lot of comparisons between Wanda and Jean Grey.
I think maybe because this movie at least had that sequence where like we see Jean with her sister and you feel bad for her in that sequence.
And also
when
the
you realize
VMAX reveal, yeah.
When, like, how much she was screwed over, and the fact that here's the thing. I feel like Jean realized her mistake earlier than Wanda. I don't think Wanda ever realized her mistake that quickly, because I feel like she still resented Tony Stark. I feel like she never got over her Tony Stark resentment. Where here, it feels like she at least like forgave Spider-Man and even felt guilty when he took the bullets for her.
Right. I still think she does, like, she hits a guy with a car, like, you know, makes him back up and get hit by a car, and they're like, what happened to that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and she was like, you know, peeping through people's memories, and oh, by the way, there is one thing that this movie, there's someone pointed this out on Twitter too, and I told my friend this, that this is like the only movie where someone gets hijacked and, you know, the main character kisses them or does something, you know, sexual with them, and then admits later that what they did was wrong to them, like is just open about it. Which is yeah.
I feel like
was,
that.
and
I feel
by
like
the way,
that,
it
that
was
was
played straight. It was not played for a joke. It was like it was sincere. He literally goes, "I'm sorry I did that," and she was like, "It's okay, I understand." And you're like, "Wow,
is that Marvel's
that was
way
nice."
of like calling out DC for that Wonder Woman 1984 thing?
It must have. It must
Yo,
have.
because let's be real here. That was so wrong when you kind of realize that he's doing it with the guy on the guy's body.
Yeah, and there's no
Thinking
care for
that's
that
Steve.
guy. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he has to be the one to apologize.
oh my gosh.
There's other stuff that did it too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you know, like
Well,
it
some
seems
people
like
make
a
an argument
reoccurring thing.
that even though I like Peacemaker season 2,
Oh, the boys did
when
it. The boys did something similar.
when Peacemaker's doing it with like hardcore, and she thinks that's her Peacemaker, and he's kind of taking advantage of the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that one too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but that scene.
and
of
I
the
like
roof,
Peacemaker season 2, but
I mean,
Yeah,
he
there's
was
a
really
lot of
good
these
with
like it's a weird trope, and I understand for the movie's sake, you know, it was kind of a cool visual, like she's hopping between the bodies, even though she's never done that before. Like I'll allow it because it looks cool. Although it does bring up some concerns though, like can other telepaths do this in the MCU? Or
Yeah,
is this- you know what I mean?
I didn't even think of
Well,
her
the thing
doing
is,
that.
the thing is, it's
See,
not really Jean
this-
Grey. That's not really Jean Grey's thing, though.
No.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's not her.
I feel like
thing.
this was more of a Professor X kind of thing.
She also didn't have telekinesis. Like she didn't really do any like, you know, all the like
No,
physical
like,
powers. Like she stopped people, and that was like kind of it.
It
It's funny.
feels like she was doing Professor X things, and now I have a question, like, where's Professor X in the MCU now? Because clearly he had to have sensed all this like crazy stuff she was doing.
Yeah.
Like now this begs the question, what's the long-term thing for the X-Men side?
Well, I
Because
think-
obviously Professor X is gonna have to track her down. Like, who's Professor X? What's Professor X up to
I
right
think-
now?
Yeah.
I think that's the long goal with her. I think she's eventually gonna find, like, she doesn't have anybody. That's until she meets Professor X and the rest of the X-Men, or like to form a team is gonna be her family. To get a family when she meets Professor X. That's the long-term goal in the game. That's obviously a long-term goal.
Right.
It's for when into whatever the MCU's version of MCU. Professor X after Patrick Stewart. I think it'd be Patrick Stewart. It'd be somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. There's all rumors about who's Professor X.
Yeah.
First, they were saying Patrick Wilson was gonna be Professor X. Then it's like Bill Skarsgård. Now there's like another guy, Tom. I can't remember his last name. I don't know that actor that well, but
You don't have any clue.
they
For
got
example, nobody has Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. Nobody, in fact, had Emma Frost rumors.
I think she was rumored though. Someone did say her name. I mean, most
Oh.
people said her name because let's be honest, she's hot and she's barely in movies and she's probably cheap. So I think people were saying her name, right? The other some of the
like
yeah, they were saying Margot Robbie too, but I mean Margot Robbie's
The
not.
twins.
She's not. If she's in a Marvel movie, it's gonna be a villain at this point. She's not gonna be a long term.
Samara
Could,
Emma
could you
Frost,
imagine
like-
how film Twitter's gonna act if Margot Robbie joins the MCU?
Yeah, I don't even know who she could even play at this point.
Hmm.
I mean, you would think though. Isn't there? By the way, there's a rumor that actually Harley Quinn is in Man of Tomorrow. Like briefly.
What?
Yeah.
Yo.
Her
What
and
is going on
Idris
with
Elba
this
supposedly appear in the movie briefly.
I can see Idris Elba's character being in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should be in the movie. We haven't seen him, or he should have been in Peacemaker. Like I wish they continued Peacemaker so we could have some resolution with Bloodsport and him. But yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But I mean, yeah, I think overall it was a great movie. Pacing aside, and you know, the stuff they did with Jean Grey. I mean, also there's another thing I want to talk about, which was I hope this movie continues with what Peter did, because I mean he created essentially a you know, like a nuclear bomb situation, because it's like he created this inhibitor chip, and you're like, that's used to literally suppress the mutants' powers. So it's like, I'm sure that's going to be used somewhere, and someone's going to be like, hey, did you know Spider-Man created this?
I always thought the Shield had that, something like that.
They did, but I think they'll retcon it or some bullshit.
Yeah, because I remember, like, as a Civil War, didn't they have, like, what did they do to suppress Wanda's powers?
Yeah, and Quicksilver.
And Quicksilver, yeah, things like that. Like,
they never really explain. I mean, first off, they never explain their powers, so you know, I don't know what they'll do with Wanda after Secret Wars, but
They might just reboot her or
possibly.
recast her.
well, she might be one of the bitches. You know, those bitches that.
I don't think she's
my
one of
God.
the witches. I think she
No.
will be in Secret Wars. Maybe she is the witches, but I mean, I feel like when you have to explain that she got resurrected.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't understand how Doom would resurrect her. Like, Doom went
Yeah.
into the 616 universe just to resurrect her. It doesn't make sense. Like, it makes no sense. This is
Yeah,
a
I think
different-
one of the witches is at least what's her name? Charlize Theron. Why, you know,
Clea.
Doctor Strange's
Clea?
girlfriend.
Clea.
Clea?
Yeah. And then some people were saying Sylvie.
Yeah,
Sophie?
Yeah, Sylvie. And then someone was saying maybe Anna de Armas, because supposedly she's in the movie.
who?
We don't know. Some people were saying that maybe she's like Doom's mom, but I don't think so. I don't know who she could be playing in the movie. There's a lot of people rumored to be in this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
Ghost Rider is supposedly in the movie. Like, there's the VFX shot. Like,
Yeah.
that's 100% has to be real. Like, there's no way someone could fake that, especially with AI. It was like way too like
And Marvel took it
good.
down.
Yeah, Marvel flagged it too. So
Yeah, when Marvel flags something, it usually means it's real.
yeah, I think that's why they announced him, because he's in these movies, or at least he's in this movie coming up for like briefly.
For,
I wonder if it's like, you know what? Blade is over with. It's just announced Ghost Rider a week before Blade is officially canceled.
Yeah, I think
what?
they'll make a Blade movie, but just not with Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
fumbled that so hard.
Well, here's what I heard. Here's what I heard, right? Because I can understand. If this is true, then I can understand why they didn't make the movie. So supposedly Mahershala Ali, he went to Marvel. He wanted to make a Blade movie, and they kind of let him, like, produce the movie. So he got the director and writer and all these things.
Oh,
And Marvel just didn't like what he did, right? Which was supposedly this movie that took place in like slavery time period, that didn't have any vampires, and it was like, you know,
no.
it just like, based on all of that, those two things, I was like,
Because-
it's not Blade.
No, it has to have.
Is
And there's little
vampires.
action scenes and things like that, and so Marvel was like,
Blade
it's
is-
too off brand.
is it the one
Blade.
with like the daughter
No.
coming? Oh,
Nah, there's no
Blade-
mention about a daughter.
Blade, without vampires, Blade is nothing.
Yeah, this sounded like a completely different movie, and I think Marvel was like, this is too off-brand, and
Yeah, it's not Blade. That's
Yeah.
not Blade.
and they probably had a contract with him, and they probably are just like, you know what, we'll just pay him the money, and when the contract is expired, we'll make a Blade movie ourselves. That's what I think is gonna happen. Because I mean, if when you think about it, right, it's like, well, let's hope the Blade game doesn't get canceled, because there's a likelihood it could. But if that game doesn't get canceled and it gets released, and let's say this game does pretty well, or at least well enough to maybe consider a sequel. I mean, they're gonna obviously have to make a Blade movie. Like, they look at the games, they look at everything as like research and development. Like the Spider-Man game, like I mean, you can obviously see they like that game had a major influence on this new movie, like without a doubt. So it's like they're just gonna mine whatever's popular outside of the movies, right?
Brand synergy.
Brand synergy, yeah. Marvel loves brand synergy.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do it with X-Men. All the X-Men who are rumored, they're all in the TV show. And you're like, it's just gonna be the TV show lineup with minus Wolverine, which is just make the movie with Wolverine. Just make the movie with Wolverine. Like, come on, man. If you're not gonna do that, then make a solo Wolverine movie.
Wolverine versus Hulk movie.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or Weapons. I mean, I would like a Weapon X movie.
Weapon X movie.
Yeah.
Why do you see so many people actually think Supergirl is a big part of Spider-Man in the box office? Who like?
Yeah, it was Louis.
Oh yeah.
He's a reputable
or
person.
Fernandez?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Fernandez or Fernando, whatever. But he's a reputable analyst, and he said that last year. I mean, it was like I see like the reason, but it was still stupid. It was like it's Spider-Man. It's like, why would Supergirl it was based on the fact that like Wonder Woman made more than Spider-Man in 2017, and you're like,
bro,
it's been a decade, man.
You know how you know Spider-Man? This movie's gonna do bonkers. When No Way Home came out back in 2021, it was still COVID. Things were still opening up. Canada actually was open, but then it closed again. But you remember that blind.
Yeah.
But things were opening up. No Way Home was like the first movie where people were not afraid to go to the theaters.
Yeah, tons of people went to it. I'm sure tons of people also got COVID watching that movie.
For sure. Because it was like that Omicron variant. Well, yeah.
I went to that movie, I got COVID. Because the IMAX theater was packed. There was like tons of people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's how you nobody's gonna do that for Supergirl. Sorry.
No, and Supergirl's not Wonder Woman. Like, that was a dumb comparison. I mean, I do think, this, first off, the one impact that this movie is going to definitely have is the people at DC are going to ask, like, why doesn't Batman make $2 billion? Like, 100%. Because if you look at it on paper, it is actually surprising that Spider-Man... I mean, first off, there has been more Spider-Man movies to come out than Batman movies in the last, like, 10 years. So, there is that. But at the same time, I feel like Warner Brothers should ask themselves, like... Batman doesn't make $2 billion. Like, why doesn't Batman make $2 billion?
I don't think Batman should worry about the $2 billion.
I don't think it needs to worry right now, but I think it. I mean, their excuse is really just there hasn't been a solo Batman movie. Like, on paper, like in between. Like, think about it. From The Dark Knight Rises to the Batman, that's 10 years.
Solo.
But yes, we saw Batman in other movies, but it was not he never had his own solo movie.
Led movie, it's not a Batman-centric movie.
So I think, like, he can,
I mean, Batman v Batman probably would have done better if that still came out like at the tail end of COVID, I guess. Some theaters are still closed. Some people weren't going to see Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the Batman still did. When you look on it on
all
paper,
the movies did well that year. 2022, they did very well.
If you look on it on paper, right, the Batman, it made the same amount of money as Homecoming, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's been a few years. Like, it's going to be a long time. I think the Batman Part 2 is going to be probably the next big hyped, like, potentially, not this. I don't think it'll make $2 billion. But I think it is going to make a lot of money for a Batman movie. I think it's going to break Batman records. Or at least the records that it has right now. Well, like, most likely, Dark Knight Rises.
Rises, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Warner Brothers, like, the people, that's what I mean. Like, Warner Brothers, I feel like it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of money, but it's like they don't really get it. They really don't get it. It's like, you need a foundation. And the foundation should be you got to make something that's on par with what Marvel could do. I'm not saying you copy Marvel, but I'm saying you need to design a movie that has the potential to do eventually at some point.
The thing about Batman is that Batman is not like Spider-Man. It's kind of bulletproof. Batman is not bulletproof.
Yeah, well, that's because of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, you see Batman. Sure, BVS. BVS should have made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Justice League should have done better. The Flash, you had a Batman. The thing is,
yeah, the Flash did have Batman, but
yeah, Batman
did have an older Batman, to be fair.
That's true, but yeah, and the thing is, Batman is not. If you compare to Spider, Batman is not exactly kid friendly anymore. I would say, like, compared to Spider-Man. Like,
even though he's PG-13.
To me, this is the darkest Spider-Man movie in the sense that how Peter is in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to the Batman's a much darker movie in the tone, in the presence,
realistic,
you know?
Right?
Yeah, and but the Spider-Man is more of a multi-generational kind of character where older people could like it, people our age, you know, I'm actually older than you guys, but like middle age, young age, teenagers, kids. Batman is not really for the kids.
Yeah, the little kids. I mean, there's still Batman merchandise aimed at kids. There's cartoons. There hasn't been. I mean, one of the things that I noticed.
Nobody wants to see that in the movies. They don't want to see that in the movies, though.
Yeah, but you know what I noticed though is that there's actually a younger kids, probably like 12, like preteens, who are reading Absolute Batman. Even though that's like you know, it's pretty dark, but it's not like, you know, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. I would say it's aimed at like teenagers for sure, but not like little kids.
If you look at the vote galleries from Batman to Spider-Man, Spider-Man has some dark villains. Batman's villains are almost really like dark, dark. Right? Spider-Man has some dark villains. You got Venom, Carnage, Green Goblin, but Batman Batman has some really niche villains, like Clock King, these were that. But you got Joker, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow. They're all like. Those villains are not meant for kids.
Yeah.
Some of them are like based on real psychopaths, I heard.
Yeah.
They're all. I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, but here's the thing, though. Like, Batman the animated series was for kids, and that had like this consistently dark tone, and that's what I feel like. I do think, like, I got downvoted for saying this, but I do think like Batman could get to close. He could. I don't think he could get right on the mark, but I think he could get close. And I think the reason why he hasn't is because Warner Brothers is clueless. They don't have. First off, they just don't have a good foundation to build on, and they continuously mess up things. It's not, and people go like, people hate DC. It's like, nobody hates DC. It's like people look at Marvel and they go, why isn't DC doing that? Just like how right now when people read the Absolute books, they go, why isn't Marvel doing this? it's not, and this is what people, this is why it's like competition is good. And if you're in the business of making comic book movies, right, you're going to have to make a movie that is at least comparable to an Avengers, to a Spider-Man, right? And make it feel like, okay, this is worth watching. This is going to have a good story. This is going to have good set pieces. It's going to be comic booky for fans or whatever. And obviously that's easier said than done. But I mean, it just seems like, you know, and I know people are going to obviously scrutinize, like obviously I scrutinize them. But like they got to be honest, right? And look at the numbers. Like Batman is your main lead. He's the guy who's going to bring in the money. And if you're going to start a universe, it should be with Batman. Let Batman do the leading, do a solo Batman movie, focus on Batman, and then use him as the building block for the other characters. And build on that, right? Like, I mean, there's so many different ways DC could have gone about it, and I think they're still going to continue to struggle. Like, I don't think Man of Tomorrow, they could put tons of characters in there and it could be a good movie, but it's not going to move the needle. Like the character who's going to move, unless, I mean, even if Batman's in the movie, still doesn't matter. It needs to be a solo Batman movie. And right now Matt Reeves is the one who has what seems to be the control. So I don't know.
And here's the other thing. Did you hear like Andy Muschietti's like more focused on doing Stephen King adaptations?
Yeah.
So like that just tells me that Brave and the Bold is not going to happen for a while.
Well, dude, have you heard the rumor? I could see this happening. It's going to get people mad. But if James Gunn is able to stay long enough as the head of DC, he might be the one who just directs Brave and the Bold.
Oh gosh, I can see so many people losing
rumor.
their minds.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That's gonna be World War III.
So is Batman
Twitter.
gonna have a punk rocker song at the end of the movie? Because I
haven't-
remember last year people were triggered alone by the punk rock thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think all these choices, man. I mean, it's like James Gunn is good, but James Gunn is like works best in a certain area, and it's like the more we see of DC, the more we're realizing that it's like he should be one of the figures of DC, but I don't think he should be just completely DC.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel like it feels like James Gunn's getting into a Phil Jackson kind of territory where, yeah, Phil Jackson, the coach, he was great as a coach, but he was a terrible president of basketball operations for the Knicks a decade ago. And I'm not saying James Gunn's doing a horrible job as a president of DC yet. Yeah, Supergirl didn't work, but the other projects have worked so far. But it's like you don't want to be in that territory where, you know, despite having an excellent directing record, people are going to more so remember the weird decisions you make as the president.
Right. Yeah, I think he's a creative person, and I think what he should have done was bring his creativity to being, you know, an executive, and use that to now like greenlight projects, or like to have like, okay, I'm gonna oversee this. But it's just it doesn't make sense where, you know, he looked at Marvel and saw what was happening, where Kevin Feige now got so busy, and yet he was like, yeah, I'm gonna also direct and manage a studio. Like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like if Kevin Feige, who's a producer, got busy and couldn't oversee all these projects, how are you supposed to now direct movies? And also he directed a TV show, or a couple of episodes, wrote the script. How are you supposed to do all of this while overseeing projects. And obviously we saw Supergirl was not a good movie.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Feige. It's like it would be like if Kevin Feige directed like an Avenger movie.
Yeah.
Or, like
It would just be a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it would be a massive mess because Marvel
It would be
has,
would have to be like taking meetings on set. Like they have to invite like creatives to set a man tomorrow to talk about whatever, like ideas for like Booster Gold or something.
yeah, I assume there's other people obviously involved, but like, I
Yeah.
mean, like but like when a movie like Supergirl comes out, like why is he like leading up to now direct his movie or in writing and stuff? It's like you should be focusing on Supergirl and Clayface and all of that stuff, right? And I think Supergirl probably suffered because I don't think there was his oversight in that movie. There's no way there could have been his oversight.
There's no.
You know
And
what
also,
I mean?
there wasn't no setup for anything for Man of Tomorrow.
No, which I don't necessarily mind, because like the movie wasn't good anyway. So it's like who cares to associate yourself even more with Superman? But I don't know. I just think like it's always weird at DC. It's like there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of stuff that sometimes they make and it clicks, and then you're like, and then they never capitalize on it. They never understand why it works. The plan is given to too many people. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, and yeah, like too many weird directions we're going in, and then when it all falls apart, oh, now here's a new guy coming in.
Hmm.
I mean, I'll just say this because I'm more just Batman focus. Why? And this is also speaks to James Gunn too. It's like when you saw the list of books that he put out, you're like, these are not beginner friendly books. They're not books that really are the top sellers at DC. You know, I mean they're good books, but it's like, you know, why are you recommending Grant Morrison's Batman? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
All-Star Superman, yeah, that makes sense. Kind of. But some people complain about that. I would say, like, I don't know, Superman, all seasons, or up in the sky, like, for a beginner Superman book. But like Batman, it's like, I keep saying this, man. When it happens, I'm telling you, I said this. Just adapt the Scott Snyder stuff. This is the stuff that is popular. This is the stuff that's going to actually connect with people. Like, it is, you know, a little bit dark. You can maybe tone down the parts or you know, embellish them or whatever. But that's what the DCU Batman should be based on, is the Scott Snyder run. At least those first couple of story arcs.
Which one? Which one? The New 52 or the
New 52.
Absolute Batman?
The New 52.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like, it should be a Court of Owls movie. Just have the Bat family established, but don't have them all in the movie.
Yeah.
You can have, like, the first character in the Bat family that maybe you should see is, like, Dick Grayson.
Nightwing, Batgirl.
Yeah, that should be like, his book should be the template of this is what we're gonna jump off of, right? And I wouldn't even mind if they were like, you know what, we're still gonna have Andy Muschietti. It's like, Andy Muschietti, I feel like clearly could work with dark material and make it at least interesting. The Flash, I don't think, was like his material. It didn't really work. But he does seem like he is more of a comic book guy than it first seemed like. Just that the Flash was, you know, the Flash was rushed. It was a rushed, you know, too many cooks in the kitchen and all that stuff, and all these years of different scripts, and you know what I mean. I don't know, man. I just hope eventually DC can Like, it would be cool if this was also Batman. It's like Batman making $2 billion. That's just what I want, okay? Like, I'm a fanboy too, man.
Yeah, I wish that too, but I don't know if Batman will ever make $2 billion.
I'm gonna hope, man. I'm gonna somehow, in my power, make that happen one day. Even though I got no power. I was like, when I saw that this movie's making $2 billion, I'm like, yo, I'm celebrating like I'm getting a cut of the money. I was like, damn. I was like, this is crazy. This is insane. I can't believe this. It's like, well, where was everybody saying that this movie was like, was it gonna do well or something, like, you know, all these people. Let's see, what time is it?
It's 10:40.
Yeah.
We're at 11, basically.
Oh, okay. Was there anything you guys wanted to talk about?
All units on alert.
Any closing thoughts?
This was a love letter to Spider-Man comics. It feels like it just had like all the elements that Spider-Man comics have had that I feel like we didn't see yet in a Spider-Man movie. Which is crazy when you think about the fact that we've had, let's see, we've had 2 animated Spider-Man movies, we've had 3 Tobey Maguire movies, 2 Andrew Garfield, and this is the 4th Tom Holland movie. And overall, I feel like the next Spider-Man adventure can go in so many different directions, and I'm very curious to see where it's going to go. I'm also curious to see, because obviously that post-credits scene basically hints that Spider-Man is most likely going to be in Secret Wars, and what his role is going to be in Secret Wars.
Right.
And how he's going to get integrated, because basically, like, after this movie, he realizes that he can now accept help, and now he's gonna be back in a big story, and he's probably gonna have to work with a bunch of heroes he doesn't even know, whether they're from another universe or heroes he hasn't interacted yet that have been in the MCU.
Right. Hopefully Wolverine.
We don't. Yo, like, I would love to see him with like Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah.
Cause I remember a couple of years ago when they were playing Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh and Ryan were making jokes saying like, "Oh, we want to team up with Spider-Man next. We want to like rough him up a little bit."
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see Spider-Man with Wolverine, Star-Lord. You know, that's what I would want to see with Secret Wars. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
we'll
he
see the
probably
Guardians, but-
Star-Lord probably will remember Spider-Man, but not Peter Parker, because they
Right.
did fight together on Titan. So he'll probably remember Spider-Man. I would laugh if like Spider-Man's blunt is like, "Weren't you the guy that freaked out because Thanos killed his girlfriend?"
Oh yeah, you know what was funny? They're both him and Star-Lord have both identical story problems in this movie and the third movie, when you think about it.
Oh yeah, their girlfriends don't remember them.
Yeah.
Don't love them.
And then
Yeah.
don't love him anymore.
Yeah.
So
Well, here's the
Man.
thing. Here's
Or
the
Trump
thing.
and stuff.
Peter Parker's still young enough, and I don't know if you noticed in the montage that one girl was kind of like hinting that she digged him.
oh yeah, that girl was
So-
she wasn't she Sabrina? She was in Sabrina, I think.
So like it's clear that like he can still get any girl, and the thing is Peter Parker has so many love interests. Like I have a
Right.
feeling like he's most likely gonna end up back with MJ at some point. but,
Yeah.
there's still other love interests in his comics, where with Star-Lord it's like, yeah, what girl's gonna dig this guy at this point?
Nah, yeah, Star-Lord's
Like
kinda
who's gonna
screwed.
dig
Yeah.
who's gonna dig Star-Lord at this point? Like the dude's gonna be in his mid-40s, like, or he's already in his mid-40s. Like no one's gonna dig this guy.
I still want like a solo Star-Lord movie. Like I think
I
there's
would
some
love to
potential there.
I would love to see Star-Lord like at least cross over with someone else. Like there's so many characters I think would be.
Well,
a
I think he's
fun
gonna be with
interaction
Nova for sure. I'm curious to see
Yeah.
how they handle him with Nova. Because they always have they're kind of friends, but they also have like a rivalry in the comics. So, and James Gunn, by the way, James Gunn didn't want that. He specifically,
thing?
yeah, he specifically did not want Richard Rider in the Guardians movies, so he never got him.
People praise James Gunn for everything.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand his reason, but Richard Rider should have been in the MCU a long time ago. Like he's way too iconic.
I mean, now thinking about it, if he was in, if Noah was introduced early, he would probably would have taken Captain Marvel's place. If you think
Possibly.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a cool
True.
character. Yeah.
He should have been introduced way sooner in Phase 4.
Yeah, I feel like he could have been introduced in Infinity War, but I mean, that movie was already crowded. So. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. I feel we did get a good 2-hour conversation here. Kwanzaa couldn't show up because he had an emergency. I don't know what happened to Red. I guess Red is coming off now. I did want to keep it at kind of at 2 hours.
Oh,
Is it a 2-hour call or is it 2 hour or is it the stream? I don't know. I feel like we did get a good chat.
90 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2
90
hours.
minutes.
2 hours, 5-minute call.
Yeah.
90 minute stream, yeah. 2.5 hours here.
Yeah, I did because I mean there was the X-Men casting. I mean we did talk about that. We'll still see because some people
Yeah.
some people don't
Yeah.
like some of the choices. There's one choice I'm kind of rooting for, even though like people are like, this guy's not Cyclops. Is Seymour Hoffman's son. I'm like, let's see what he could do. Like, make him lose some weight, hit the gym. I want to see. He's got something. He's got something. So it's like, I don't think he will probably be Cyclops though, because the other dudes they're like, okay, those dudes look, you know, they got more of an interesting look going for them. I've never seen their work, but you know, and then. Yeah.
I think one of them who was rumored to be Cyclops was in Outer Banks.
Yeah, I've never seen that show.
My
Is that
grandma
is that
watches
the
it.
Josh Brolin show on Amazon?
No, it's it's on Netflix. It's about these kids who are treasure hunters.
Wait, what is
That
it called?
takes
Say it again.
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
It's on Netflix.
No, I have
It's,
not heard
about
of that.
It's on its final season,
Okay.
and what's his name? He was one of the characters was fan cast as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see Johnny Storm. And I don't know when. I mean, a Spider-Man 5, I am curious. I mean, we didn't talk about that. We can end it on this. But what do you think Spider-Man 5 will even be about?
Honestly,
I don't
it
know.
can be about the symbiote, but I don't know how they're going. I don't know if they're gonna do the whole symbiote because I don't know. That's because they can bring Fantastic Four.
I think the Fantastic Four should be in Spider-Man 5.
Well, here's a question, because I know a lot of people like to speculate and like say because it happened in the comics. Do we think the black suit's gonna happen in Secret Wars?
I think so. I mean,
So,
it would be a massive missed opportunity if they didn't.
So if he gets the black suit in Secret Wars, then Spider-Man 5 will probably start with him in the black suit. It's just a matter of, like, are they gonna make the same mistake that 3 made, where, you know, they force Venom in at the end, or do they go a whole movie with the black suit and then set up Venom for the 6th movie?
Yeah, I think they should do that.
It can be a Spider-Man versus Venom movie.
I think
'Cause here's
Venom
the other
should be
thing.
the ultimate villain at the of the trilogy. Like the
Because
end.
here's the other thing. We know they also want to introduce Miles Morales, and they've made it clear that after Beyond the Spider-Verse, Miles is coming to the MCU, and so Beyond the Spider-Verse is supposed to happen next year. I'm predicting the earliest release date for Spider-Man 5 is going to be 2029, the earliest. So by that point, if they feel comfortable, we might at the very least see Miles Morales characters. I don't know if he's going to get the powers
Right.
in Spider-Man 5 if Miles is introduced, but I can see like his father, maybe his father's partners with Captain DeWolf, which again I do want to add another great nod to the comics because people forget about Jean DeWolf and that she was a key Spider-Man detective police ally. Like everyone thinks, oh, the key female ally in the police force was always Yuri, but it's like
Yuri's
no,
a newer
Jean
character.
DeWolf. Jean
No.
DeWolf was the OG.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do want to add this. I really like the Spider-Man Jean DeWolf dynamic. I know it wasn't a big thing, but I really like that they had a dynamic that felt different from the Batman Gordon one.
Right.
Because the Wolf seemed like she cared about who Spider-Man was, but Spider-Man's well-being.
True.
Like she don't care who's behind the mask. She just cares about, his well-being. She's like, you gotta take care of yourself. Like, do you do anything else? Like, you gotta have a life outside the suit.
Right.
Like, I really liked that, like, someone was caring for his well-being, even though they didn't know who he was behind the mask. And
Right.
I'm not saying she's trying to play the mother role or anything. Like, no one's gonna top Aunt May
No.
in there. But I feel like it was just nice that, there was a relationship, even if it was professional, where she still cared about him beyond the work,
Right.
Yeah.
even though she
I
didn't know
seen-
who was behind the mask.
Yeah, I saw people complaining about Jean DeWolf in this movie, saying that, oh, she just doesn't need to be in there.
To everybody saying that, everybody goes, this character doesn't need to be in there. That's it.
I liked her inclusion in the movie. I really liked it. I hope she plays a bigger role in the next movie or a couple movies.
Right.
I hope they bring her back.
Yeah, she would be it's nice to have reoccurring supporting characters in these movies. So,
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, I do want to see. I did see some people say like, if they did the black suit, they could, now that she's established, they would just do the death of of her, right?
Denator.
Oh,
Yeah.
that man. See,
Denator.
I feel like that would she would probably be like the next Lawson Peter slime at that
Right.
point.
But I feel like it would
And I
be
think
too
that would-
soon to do it in the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think Venom should be. I mean, I honestly think Venom should be the character that they go with for the ending, like the last Tom Holland movie, because and have it be like Venom hates Spider-Man, the symbiote hates Spider-Man, and have the fifth movie like actually focus with him in the black suit, and do it like like they can mix it, like do it like the comic where it was like, there wasn't any signs at first, and then eventually, something starts to seem off. But I was suggesting they could do kind of like a mix of Kraven's The Last Hunt and Back in Black, which is where Spider-Man was going up against the Kingpin, because the Kingpin was like sending these hits out on his Aunt May and stuff, and
Yeah.
he beat him up like in prison. That would be like an insane moment in a movie to see, like Vincent D'Onofrio fighting Spider-Man in prison, and Spider-Man's in the black suit. Like that would be like, what I mean? That could visually be
Same.
interesting. So like I would say the next movie, it's got to be Kingpin as the villain. Kingpin,
I like-
and maybe like somehow a new version of the Sinister Six. Somehow.
I would like to see Beetle in the
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because they said they were going to have like all the villains fight him. So I think if he's in the
Yeah.
black suit and the villains are all teaming up against him, and there's no, it's not like he's got the other Spider-Man to help, right? And it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that could be pretty cool.
You know, this is where I'm so annoyed at Sony. I feel like if Sony never made a Kraven movie, I feel like Kraven would also be another great villain for the MCU.
I think he
He
still
would
could be in the
Like
movie.
Kraven's last hunt.
No Way Home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't just save that for Spider-Man.
Like I think Sony really dropped the ball because I don't know if people remember, like before, like the multiverse stuff, it seemed like John Watts was ready to do Kraven for a third Spider-Man movie. Like all the signs were kind of pointing to Kraven being the villain before the multiverse stuff happened. Like everyone was saying, "Oh, the next live-action villain has to be Kraven."
There were rumors, like back in early 2020, there were rumors of him and Scorpion being the villains in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah. And he was supposed, like, there was a rumor that he was going to be from Wakanda and stuff. They were going to, like, change him up.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and the anti-SJWs were probably like, "Woke!"
Yeah. I still think they got to put Kraven. I mean, it's stupid they, you know, that they had the movie. Why would they do that? Just forget about that. Recast him. Aaron Taylor Johnson is not Kraven. Pick an older actor.
Bring back Vulture too. They need to
Bring back Vulture. Yeah, bring back. Yeah, I would like if they brought back some of the MCU villains that he went up against. And it's like they put out a hit on Spider-Man. They're trying to take down Spider-Man, and he's got the black suit, and so he's more, you know, skilled and more powerful. And then it's like the more that they're going at him, the more aggressive that he's becoming, and realizing that this is kind of like, hey, you know, this is not a good thing. You could have the Fantastic Four, you know, help him try to remove the symbiote. Obviously, I think Daredevil. Like, if you're gonna do another one of these grounded stories, I think you could feel like it makes sense to do something like that, with the black suit, a little bit more with Edge, with the villains this time, and just have like Daredevil, I don't know, kind of like be a mentor to him while he's like dealing with this angst of the symbiote. I think I understand Matt Murdock was in No Way Home, but it's like let's see Daredevil and Spider-Man and see their dynamic, because I feel like it would be a little bit more different compared to like the Punisher and Spider-Man. You know, because like Matt is very like self-righteous, so I feel like he would be like, you can't do this, and Peter would get mad at him like more than the Punisher. Right, because he feels like he's right. He's not like Frank, where it's like Frank's just crazy. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna let them do their thing, because I mean this movie worked so well. But that would be my like want for the movie, the next movie at least.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever happens with Spider-Man 5, I hope it's turned out well.
Gonna guess
Yeah,
these guys
hopefully.
are trading baseball cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna end it here, guys, now, because I think we got a good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Alright.
appreciate you guys coming.
Later.
Later.
Yeah,
Take
man.
care,
Take care.
guys.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
Peace.